evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel and welcome to the World of Football podcast. It is fantastic to be giving you guys a podcast. Josh's idea, so thank him for that. But I was taken to the idea immediately. So very, very warm welcome to everyone in the chat. I've seen a few of you already. That are in there as well. But let me introduce my co-host for this podcast, Josh. How are you doing, my friend?
Good evening, everyone. I'm doing very well. We're here for a long and good talk about some interesting topics. So I think we'll enjoy this. It's of course going to be a first of many amazing podcasts. That's going to be on the Dugout Football channel.
Absolutely. And a warm welcome to Connor from the Cop Council. How are you doing, my friend?
Very well, thank you, mate. First time on the podcast. It's very, very nice to be invited on, so thank you both for that. And yeah, can't wait to talk about everything football today.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you can see, we've been joined by Reece, United for Life. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm fine and dandy, my friend. Fine and dandy, as they say in the north. But we'll see how that changes. Still on a high from last night for Scotland win the game in 90 minutes. What an absolute shock. That is a cheap punt. That's a cheap punt at my home nation. I'm entitled to make a dig because we can't win games in 90 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very, very good win in the end. And yeah, obviously Josh would be very happy as well in Northern Ireland getting through to the final as well, which is very good. And they play Slovakia, who knocked out Republic of Ireland. But that's not why we're here. Well, we will be speaking about international football very, very shortly. Let's have a few hellos to a few people, because I've seen a few of you. It's 1963 Data's in. How are you doing, my friend? That United family's in. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Hello to Abul Azad. Hey, Doug, look who's here. Yeah, you are here, indeed. Hello to Liz Golden as well. Hope you're doing well. Waiting patiently, loading 78%. Oh, very good.
Abul's a good guy. He's always active on Twitter. He's always positive. He likes to sport his shirts. He's a good guy.
Yeah, definitely. Hey guys, about time. Reece, Doug, Connor, and Josh. And Liz Golden says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good evening, we should say, to you as well." And Pete Shepherd is in from the Fandangle YouTube channel. Evening, Pete. I hope you are doing well. So, the first topic we have to talk about is the absolute shambles at Barcelona. Now, if you see from the title of the video that it says Barcelona in crisis, I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. Barcelona are a team in absolute shite. And I'll just say that for now for one thing, because they have been I can honestly tell you a list of players that they could probably have put, and I could guarantee you they've not signed anybody. And the owner of Barcelona, Josep Maria Bartomeu, has now been given a potential vote of no confidence. I'll come to Josh first. What have you made of the absolute shambles that is Barcelona?
I think Barcelona is the definition of a club that could go all wrong real quick. Barcelona made probably one wrong decision, and that was kind of putting everything in Messi's hands. They give Messi a financial package, and they physically could not go out and buy any half decent top players. So if you look at their squad, if you look at their bench is atrocious for the size of Barcelona. They have no one that you can go get P and come off the bench and make a difference. They've mistreated Suarez. They've let Robert Koeman come in and just completely mistreat Suarez. They go rid of a young midfielder to bring in an ancient midfielder when they need to rebuild. They tried to sign Depay when Alden completely failed. They want to sell Ter Stegen. They've got an ancient centre back. Will you tell me what direction that club's going in? And one thing I'm going to say is that if Bartomeu gets his vote of no confidence, we could see Robert Koeman sacked before he even finishes the end of the season. You put all of these things. You put all of these things into hindsight. You just figure out, where's this club going to go? Will Messi leave at the end of the year for free? Will he literally leave Barcelona on the free? Will Koeman be sacked before the end of the season? Will Bartomeu stay? It just makes you think the only way Barcelona can overcome this crisis is somehow magically win the treble. As simple as that. But like off the field,
Is that gonna be happening though? Like,
no. They're not even going to win. They're not even going to win the Copa del Rey.
Outside guess, outside prediction right now, Athletic Bilbao will be the 2021 Copa del Rey champions.
Nice.
Oh my God, they're a good team. They're a very good team.
That would be very, very good. Connor has been holding back from either smirking or smiling right now. What is your thoughts on Barcelona?
We truly broke them at Anfield, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just the smile, it's lovely. But look, Barcelona have been in trouble now for years. Ever since the whole Neymar spectacular thing. 222 million euros was it, pounds or whatever the hell it was. All that was a massive fiasco and things like this. But it's like what Josh said. Where are Barcelona going in terms of direction? I think if you look at every single elite club's mentality at the minute and look at their club, you can see where they're going. Yeah. Like Real Madrid, for example, they're looking to rebuild. They currently have Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. as their top wingers. Barcelona, they're playing Griezmann as a winger. Even though he has played there, for Atletico sometimes, it's not good enough, right now. So, and, who knows? It could be, at the end of the day, Messi could end up going on a free. Then the question is, where does he go? That is the thing. But, to be awfully honest, and I've said this to you, Doug, off camera, for me, I think Messi's going to sign a new contract with Barcelona, and he's going to sign one for even more money, because that's just how Barcelona are running right now. Like, Messi runs Barcelona, and it's shocking. And for me, it's like you two have said, Barcelona, they can't get anyone in at the minute. They can't get Depay, they can't get Wijnaldum, they can't get... they barely got, is it Dest or Dost from Ajax? They barely got him. They had to fight Bayern Munich for him, but they did eventually get him. But, there's just no leadership in that club. And I agree with Josh. I reckon Xavi will be in Barcelona before the end of the season.
Wow, what a shout that is. Sorry to peek. Can you actually hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Apparently my mic's I think it's because my iPad is actually at the lowest volume, so I apologize for that. Reece, what is your take on Barcelona?
Well, there's a significant improvement on Barcelona that they want to get Xavi over Ronald Koeman. What a disgrace. A lot of people gave me slack for this, right? I rate Ronald Koeman as a manager. Like, I rate him. And I think he is good enough to do the job. The problem is Barcelona, the way they're getting run, it's going to cause so many long-term issues that I feel for him. I wanted him to do well because he is a Barcelona legend, and he played in the Cruyff Dream Team that won six trophies, like between 1988 and 1994. But he was also a mainstay up till 96 before he left. Like, he's no slouch. He knows Barcelona, yet he doesn't get the respect he deserves from Barcelona fans, from fans worldwide. And I'm like, how freaking dare you? But the problem with the club is, I mentioned it to you off camera, is Bartomeu's been in charge, I think he's been in charge since 2010, 2011. And Juan Laporta is the man that resurged Barcelona in 2003, and he was clear as day. Like, when I get in, I'm going to sign one of three players to restart this club. David Beckham, Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho. He went on record. It was one of these three because we need that star power, and they got Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
And you saw what that did. That transcended the club. They went from mediocre performances to winning the Champions League in 3 years. Against Arsenal of all clubs in France. But the clubs went against its values. I mean, it was supposed to be about developing world-class players. You saw it from La Masia, where they had such great players, and then they went out and started... They went and done the Antichrist to Barcelona. They went and bought Galacticos. Like, they went against their whole idea. Like, bringing in one or two big players to keep this club going with star power is good. But if you're going to just keep going buying and buying and buying, you go away from your club's ethos.
Yeah.
And that's what Barcelona have done. That's what Man United have done. That's what Ajax have done. They've broken what they're all about, and it's led to such long-term issues. And Barcelona are in that issue where they cannot fix things. And Connor brought up an excellent point about Xavi, like this new president, like the guy that's they're not new president yet, but the guy who's the front runner to take over. He has said multiple times, the minute I get in, I don't care who's in charge. Xavi is my manager. I am going to bring him in. And it's a slap in the face to anybody that's in charge. And if that's what you're about, then you shouldn't be a football club. If you're just going to break...
Talking about Xavi, it's also important to remember, at the end of when Valverde got sacked from Barcelona last year, Xavi came out and said that he refused to be a manager under Bartomeu. When Bartomeu approached him, he refused to even negotiate with him. He literally said, "No, see you later. I'll talk to the next president." And if you look at the players Barcelona have signed, you've got King Prince Boateng, who was the backup striker to Suarez last year. You got Martin Braithwaite, who's still at the club, who they paid 25 million for, who they had to do an emergency signing away. Barcelona have to make an emergency signing. Just put that into context,
of all clubs as well. Of all clubs.
And if you're supposed to St. Mirren had to sign Smatal from Hearts on an emergency loan after 3 keepers tested positive for Corona. Yeah. And then you got Barcelona out here making an emergency signing because they physically couldn't buy anyone, and had to put, and that's what got Leganés relegated in the end because if they had Briefer, they would have stayed up. They signed Griezmann for an incredible amount of money, knowing that he could not play in his best position, and has been wasted for a year and a half. They signed Neto, the Valencia first keeper, for 30 million.
Which made no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
He was the Valencia #1 keeper. He cost 30 million. He's on 210k a week and sits on the bench behind Ter Stegen.
That makes no sense. But it makes no sense because you've got. Sillissen was doing good as a backup, and he was still getting games as Netherlands #1. So why they brought in Neto makes no sense at all. It doesn't do anything.
FFP, that's the thing for Neto. That Villarreal paid more money for Sillissen than Barcelona got for Neto, and they did it stupidly. They bought they sold Sillissen to Villarreal, and then the next day they bought Neto. Because it was the 1 day after rule where their books closed for that season, and then it restarted then on the 1st of July. So Barcelona, they were sneaky in that sense of trying to work around FFP, and that's what they're trying to do all the time. Because let's not forget this: Barcelona have had to try and make over 100 million euros this summer to try and sign players, and it hasn't worked because they haven't been able to get into Pai, Wijnaldum, and others. It's taken them all summer just to get right back in the club to replace Nelson Semedo.
Yeah,
and that says a lot when you used to see how fast the Spanish clubs are at making deals. It is scary that the clubs like Real Madrid or Barcelona, where they take so long to make a signing, and you're like, these are big money clubs. What the hell's going on? But there is so much going on.
I'm going perfect. I actually have to say that Bartomeu makes Ed Woodward look like a genius and a half.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Ed Woodward literally looks like a genius. He looks like he's got a million IQ, making Bartomeu look like a wee cheap son. I think if us four walked into the Barcelona board, we could do a better job.
Are you trying to kickstart my rant already? For fuck's sake!
I don't know. It's coming.
For the record, guys, the reason I said rant is we are in a group chat for this podcast, and Josh has said every day for this week, I can't wait for this show because I can't wait for your rant. I can't wait for your rant. I can't wait for your rant. He has been consistent with that, and I'm trying to hold it in. I am trying.
Let's see what some of you are saying. Abelazad, every great team have their ups and downs. Barcelona is now going the same route. As soon as Messi goes, good luck to them. I
think they'll be better off without him.
Oh, interesting.
I think they'll be better off without him because that's 650,000 that's being wasted on somebody who doesn't even deserve the wages. No player in world football, it doesn't matter who you are, Ronaldo, Messi, whatever, no football player should be getting that amount of money. That's disgusting. So frankly, getting him off the wages, that I don't know how much that is a year, but think how much that could actually go to saving the club's financial, and then they can actually invest in where it needs to be invested.
Yeah, definitely. Pete Sherwood says, let's be honest, when a player has more power than the manager and the fans back the player more than the board, there's always going to be a problem. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that. Villa Together, the Lions Roar podcast is in. Chris is in. Hope you're doing well. Love this, guys. Very, very welcome. Hope you are doing well. Barcelona, more politics than football. Cooking the books year after year. Yeah,
agreed.
Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Kane Dolan says, I think Pete is spot on with that one. Messi is as big as a problem as he is a benefit. Yeah. Real Madrid don't appreciate their legends. Feel bad for some players that played for them. Yeah, absolutely.
Gareth Bale.
Yeah, Gareth Bale. Yeah, that's another one. 650 grand a week for 52 weeks.
Here we go.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, Kian, just do that calculation for me, because I've not got time to get my calculator out of my bag and then just do all this work. Get the math, get the numbers up for me. But no, you're like, there were some comments that were spot on. Liz's comment about more politics than football, spot on.
Yeah.
You see it a lot right now. The division that's coming in from Barcelona. You've got the Spanish players, you've got anybody who's from another country, and then you've got the Catalonians who are still going at war over independence from Spain. That's causing further division in the club, which is making them, thank you very much, that's making so many issues. And that's £4.2 million less than what they sold Semedo for.
Jesus Christ!
That is Semedo right there.
Here's a question. Here's a question for everyone here and for everyone in the chat here. Messi in his interview with Goal said that the club was not showing ambition to go out and improve players. But is Messi being a hypocrite by not taking a wage cut for the club to go out and buy people, given a 33 million goes to them every single year?
Yeah, 100%.
I reckon he could drop 200-300k easily, and then that could be invested. I mean, what exactly? Like, I don't know what a house in Spain's going to cost, but it's not going to cost like that amount of money. He could easily drop a bit of money, and then it can be invested into like infrastructure and improving that team. Because, like you said earlier on, Barcelona have got no depth at all, and for a club of their stature, they should have depth if they want to challenge for all the available trophies.
I looked at it, their last league game. I can't remember who it was against. I think it was in Lily Shore in La Liga. But obviously La Liga have the 5 sub rule, so you have a bench of, I think it's 14 people on the bench in La Liga, and they had 9 under 21s on the bench. The 3 people that weren't were Pjanic, Neto, Martin Braithwaite. That
was a signing I disagreed with.
What, Martin Braithwaite?
No, Pjanic.
Pjanic.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that did not make sense to me. I mean, like, they're all about like young world class players, and don't get me wrong, Pjanic is one of the best, if not the best, dead ball specialist in world football. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. But for like, it made no sense. I mean, you had like Artur. If he's not that good enough, you move him on, you get somebody else. But you don't let go of a 24-year-old Brazilian international to bring in a 29-year-old. That's right at the end of near enough the end of his career. It makes no sense.
This is a club that's meant to be real built. You've got Koeman, he's going to be sacked within 12 months, regardless of when the president is in.
Absolutely crazy, and you have to say this is a very good point, actually.
I'm not really good.
Oh, Mike. Kane Dolan has said this. On that money, he could play for free for the rest of his career. Christ above, does he really need it? Plus, we're missing all his sponsorships and extra income. He's positively loaded.
Yeah, agreed.
Madness.
That's the problem with football. That's the problem with football. Is
hope you're doing well as
well. Bye, dog.
I was gonna say that's the biggest problem with with football in general. I was gonna say world football, but you can't, because it's at all levels. Money is the biggest problem, and it's also the biggest saving grace, because money helps clubs survive, but the money spent, you could undercut a club, which could effectively kill them, or you could overspend and it ruins yourself. So money is such a problem that it needs to be balanced out, and unfortunately that's FFP is not managed correctly, and you've seen it from AC Milan, who they got absolutely battered, yet Man City got let off, Chelsea suffered. Like, it's not managed effectively, and that's why money is such a big issue in football, and they need to look into that more in depth.
There is something that needs to happen with FFP, because, the Manchester City stuff, they were clearly guilty And like I had to laugh at Pep Guardiola when he said, "Oh, if we wasn't guilty, yeah, exactly. The payroll, they were on the payroll." But I had to laugh. I think it was after he was doing a press conference or whatever, and Pep said about oh, if we're not guilty, and then someone said, "Well, you had to pay FIFA or UEFA or whoever it was," and it's like, well, you're guilty then. But there's something more needed to look at in football, because for the Premier League clubs, like I'd say probably from the top 10 Premier League clubs, they're fine with money. It's then the teams trying to get up then from the Championship, your League Ones, your League Twos, your National Leagues, and things like that. Something needs to be brought in to help them more than the top 6 or the top 8.
I was thinking
Premier
about
League.
that. I was thinking that the other day, because see how we've got no fans in football, but you've got so many fans who are able to watch the games from, like, is it whether Zoom or whatever they're doing? They've got like fans in the stadiums where the seats are. Why not just replace no offense to the fans, like, it's great to watch your team, but if you're watching it, you're practically watching it from your house, so just watch on TV. Why not just use that for lower league clubs, like way down to the lower leagues, like have them like sponsorships for, like, okay, here's, I don't know, Macclesfield or Burton, or just, I'm using random clubs for examples, like have them allow you sponsorship across every single stadium in the top flight, and it lets them generate money. But the Premier League don't think like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't blame the player for the salaries, though. Yeah, absolutely. Kian, I'm back.
No, we can't.
I don't actually know what happened there. Oh god, I'm gonna butcher this name. Kaustub Pardeshi is saying, who's gonna win the coming El Clasico?
3-3 draws home and away.
3-3 draw. Woo!
Yeah. There you go. Both teams aren't good enough to win either game. Like Real Madrid are a better team, but no.
Real Madrid, like, Zidane is not a tactician. Zidane is an overrated man. He's one of the most overrated managers, I think, in European football. The guy is not good. I don't care what people say. Zidane is not good. And even Real Madrid have bought better than Barcelona, but could you realistically say they've bought well? Hazard, I love, we all know as a Chelsea fan, I love Hazard, but over the last 2 seasons, he's already injured for, I think, until December. He barely played. He scored 1 goal last year. He's taken up their wage budget too, I hate to say. These are 2 clubs. Now, I think Real Madrid are in a better position. They've got a better squad. They've got better depth. But these are 2 clubs that are giants, yet are falling away slowly.
I think that's a good point. And you look at football across the world, like you look at clubs who are trying to build for the future, but they're still maintaining a sense of relevancy with who they are. And I think the club, in my opinion, even though I've got family that are Italian, so I'm probably going to get slaughtered later, but I always single out a club that I personally dislike, and that's Juventus. Yeah. But that's what they're all about, is they still maintain relevancy of like Bonucci, Chiellini, and like they keep them in the club, but because they know that they can maintain their career, but the players they're bringing around them, they're trying to keep the club going in that sense. But that's a bigger problem as well, because they're bringing in players that are virtually unknown, but are they good enough? Probably not. And they're still relying on the likes of Ronaldo, Dybala, and I'm like, they can't keep relying on these players forever, because if they get a serious injury, who are they going to bring in? Because they've not got anybody to replace them.
Bayern Munich are leading the way in how a club should be ran on and off the pitch. That's they are like what they did with Hamster Flick. They did not. These big clubs, think they need to sign mass players. They need to sign 6-7 players to have a good window. But if you're like Bayern Munich, where you buy Sané, here's your marquee, and just players in and around them, you can make such a big you can make such a big difference to that squad, because people always forget depth really matters, especially when you've got a packed schedule like you do now since the lockdown came in.
Yeah, definitely. But the Barcelona thing, I mean, I think it's going to rumble on, and I think it's only a matter of time before Bartomeu is actually out of Barcelona. Let's say hello to another few people. Hello to Amy. Hope you're doing well. Connor's back.
Sorry, I was the latest to leave.
That's all right. Chris Welsh is on. Hello, Chris. Hope you're doing well. Great to see you in here. Right, let's move on. So the second topic we're going to talk about tonight is realistic expectations for our football club. Now,
Can I go last?
yeah. We will leave Manchester United to last as well. But I'll start with Josh. What are your realistic expectations for Chelsea this season?
Well, I'm going to, everything I said at the start before the season came in, I think everything's been proven that Chelsea are still a defensive shambolic mess. It is as plain and as simple as that. We started the season with Kepa in nets. We were playing Marcus Alonso left back. Like that header against West Brom makes you just question how he's a footballer. Thiago Silva has not came into the squad and made any real significance. The guy can't talk English. He talks, our whole defensive line we're talking in French against Crystal Palace. We weren't speaking English, we were talking French because of Thiago Silva. So, look, we have brought in Mendy, who even only 2 games in actually looks like he can save a ball. So we've got something, I think, someone actually told me that, I actually seen a comment somewhere that Caballero threw a ball to Kepa in the suspension, he actually dropped it, which just makes you question, how anyway, I think for Chelsea, it is a matter of, it is every game the team will get better. But, we have proven this year that we are not going to be in the title race. Anyone who thought we were going to be in the title, which is wrong. We're defensively still not good enough. I still think we don't have a proper CDM. People are going to have this whole controversial opinion about Kante, but Kante cannot play CDM by himself. I don't think Lampard knows his best 11 yet. I think that's been proven. Though we are still waiting for Ziyech to come back fit. So I think where Chelsea are at now, beating Crystal Palace 4-0 and struggling against West Brom pretty much just sums up our season, or so the season will be, that we will struggle. Yeah. But we can also win comfortably, and it's going to be an inconsistent season where I think we'll be in a top 4 fight, and I think we'll finish probably third.
Can I just ask Josh? You said then about Frank Lampard not knowing his best 11 yet. For me, he hasn't known his best 11 since coming into Chelsea. Since the start, he's kept on changing formation, he's kept on changing system. Why is that? Is he just adapting to know, long term whether or not that what his best 11 would be, or doesn't he just know what his best 11 is?
Lampard isn't like Pep Guardiola or Klopp where he has a certain formation. He played 11 different formations at Derby, and last year he played 4 different formations at Chelsea. He changes formation constantly to try and keep teams thinking. That is what Lampard has always been about. He's been about being a versatile manager. And when you've played under Jose Mourinho, on Ancelotti, and all these top different managers with different versatile styles, that would naturally be within your blood to have these different ideas. So I don't. The change of formations to do with that, but I also think it was due to the defence. He couldn't trust any of the centre backs last year, and that was proven by he constantly was changing his centre backs and his full backs. He couldn't trust any of them except for Azpilicueta, and that's why at the end of last year the back 3, which we think we played for the last 7 games, worked so well. Our best 11 this year is tough because I think Doug will remember this. I said this on the podcast with Dan. We are having problems with our wingers. We don't have, Ziyech got injured, so he was out the window. You've got Hudson-Odoi, who Lampard isn't 100% in with. So then you have to play Timo Werner out the left and playing Abraham up front, or he's playing Mason Mount out the right, or he's playing Kai Havertz at right wing back as he was against Brighton. It's just Lampard. I think it's as simple as that. And if any year we brought all of these players in, it was a horrible year because we only had 1 pre-season game and 3 weeks of pre-season training. So you have to give Lampard a bit of credit. It was hard for him to know what his best 11 was. And these first few games of the Premier League season, as proven against West Brom, are his pre-season games. I think you cannot judge Lampard really until mid-January when he has all of his players fit, when he's able to get a collective team together, and then it's just hard to know because when you have the pre-season, how is a manager meant to know what his best team is really?
One thing I've noticed with Chelsea is that against Crystal Palace, I think you miss Kovacic in that midfield. I think Kovacic gives you a better balance in the midfield. It looked a wee bit unbalanced against Palace, which
I agree.
Which I thought it was a big brave decision to drop Kovacic, especially with Barkley going to Aston Villa. I thought dropping Kovacic was a bit of a surprise, and I think he is your best midfielder.
This is where I mean by first attack Lampard, because against Crystal Palace, where where Crystal Palace are going to sit a 4-4-2 and sit deep, this is where he'll play Jorginho, because Kovacic does not have a goal for it. But Jorginho can spread the ball so he can dictate that. He was really, really good against Crystal Palace and this is where you question, what does Kante actually bring to the team in certain situations. If Kante's just going to sit there and not offer he can't offer anything in attack, but he's going to offer nothing really on the transition. He was not effective against Crystal Palace, so that makes you question. What do Chelsea do with Kante? Because Jorginho plays deep in a 4-3-3 as he did against Liverpool until Christensen got sent off. He plays against Palace. He's a unique midfielder. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea are not the complete. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea are not the complete article. But I think Chelsea's best midfield three would be Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kai Havertz. I don't think Kante has any place in the team.
I would slightly disagree with that.
Wow.
Here we go, a Man United fan disagreeing with a Chelsea fan over their midfield. I actually disagree. I think last year, the games you were playing when you went on that, not ridiculous run, but you went on a very good run. I think you're better playing three at the back. I would honestly play a three at the back, and I'd play a two midfield of Kovacic, and I'd play Kovacic and Kante there. I would have them there, and I would leave Jorginho out, personally. He doesn't do much except pass the ball, but he doesn't really offer much else. But I would play Kai Havertz in attacking midfield role, and I'd play two up front. I'd play Abraham and Werner as your two strikers.
Yeah. There's a couple of people have been picking up on some points here. Abul Azad asked, quick question for Chelsea, your opinion on Kepa?
I feel bad for Kepa. I feel bad for Kepa. I feel bad for Kepa, but he's 74 million for his own sake. For his own sake, he needs to go. Needs to leave.
Kaustub Pardeshi is asking, can we see Lampard getting sacked until the end of the season?
End of November.
Lampard will be. I will tell you this: if Chelsea are not in the top four by January, Lampard will be sacked.
Ooh, interesting. Pete Shepherd makes a really good point here, and I think this is a very good point. Lampard is like OGS at United. He was hired to appease the fans because they are club legends. He needs a lot more experience before he's a Prem level manager. I absolutely agree with that.
There is a point to that now. Lampard was actually the fourth choice manager when Sarri left. Eric Ten Hag turned down Chelsea because of the transfer ban. Pochettino they talked to Pochettino, and then the other one was Allegri. But they all said no. Lampard was the fourth choice manager, and he was only brought in because he was the only one who will accept the transfer ban. And it was also to please the fans, given there was a negative attitude around the club because of the transfer ban. So Pete is not incorrect in what he's saying, but Lampard was also the only manager who was willing to accept the job that no other person would.
So out of those four managers, then the one I think Chelsea should have got in the first place, I think, is Ten Hag. But I think the style of play, honestly, I would have taken him at Man United, but obviously, I'm never going to say, I want a manager in, I want a manager out. I want it to be given. I want them to be given that time. I'm not going to just say, he's not good enough, regardless. I mean, the original shortlist for Man United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was down at the bottom. It was Laurent Blanc, it was Pochettino, Allegri was on it. Fuck knows why, but there is that sense of I don't know what a club looks for in a manager anymore. It's got to fit the style, and obviously Chelsea are known under Abramovich to be, quote unquote, the only hire serial winners. So I thought you should have signed. I thought you should have got Allegri to begin with.
The thing now for me is that Chelsea need to start going into a modern day football. This whole attacking, possession based type of style, and Chelsea definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, need to have a manager where there's a long term plan. Maurizio Sarri was meant to be that, but the transfer ban came in and the offensive came calling. So Sarri's philosophy went out the window because it was he came in, did a job for us, and that was it. So for me personally, Lampard is definitely the right one. He is learning on the job. He'll get that time with Abramovich. But Lampard could be his own downfall by getting all of these players in, and probably the worst year to get them in when he didn't have a pre-season to gel them all together. That could come back to haunt him.
Yeah.
I think Cian Dolan has hit this on the head. If I was Lampard, I'd be trying an Abraham Werner partnership with Havertz behind him and Mount Kovacic and Kante in midfield. Not Gaston Jorginho at all. Sorry, Josh. Well,
So it's a midfield for Diamond then.
Lampard has only played 2 strikers ever in his managerial career, and that was a pre-season friendly against a team of the Republic last year. Lampard despises narrow formations because he's all about the width. He is all about using the width on the 2 wingers. He despises using narrow formations. You will never see Lampard, unless it's like West Brom where Ferner, Abraham and Giroud are on the pitch at the same time. You will never see Lampard play a 2-striker formation. The reason why Jorginho is so liked by Lampard in certain games, I emphasize in certain games, is because of the way he controls the play. Lampard's about dictating the play, controlling the ball. Jorginho is careful with the ball. Kovacic and Havertz are a bit careless. Jorginho is a boring midfielder, but against the right teams, he is super effective.
Yeah,
that's one thing you can do is it depends on who you play against. That whole sense of careful, cautious play, and I think that's why a lot of people give. You see on Twitter all the time where people give so much stick to Bruno Fernandes because he's reckless. But you need to have that sense of recklessness to your character. But Bruno Fernandes, he's still one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. Yes, if he gives the ball away, he gets dispossessed. Who bloody doesn't? But he creates goals and chances and opportunities. And if you're going to say, "Oh, this guy over this guy" because he gets the ball dispossessed, I'm like, you clearly don't understand football.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, that's Chelsea. Now, Connor, Liverpool. Well, I'll just say this now. I've recovered from that 7-2 defeat to Aston Villa. I have actually recovered from it.
Look, in my eyes, it didn't even happen. It didn't even happen.
It's like you woke up. It's like you woke up from a dream, etc.
Yeah, it's the Matrix. It didn't happen. It isn't a real thing. But nah, look. At the end of the day, it did happen. And like I said, fair play to Villa on that day. They completely destroyed us by attacking our weaknesses, and they did it absolutely fantastic. And for Liverpool, defensive issues are a real thing at the minute, even though, going at the back of last season, I don't think we would have said that so much, of course, obviously us winning the league and that, but I don't know, everyone, from all I've seen on Twitter this week and that, everyone blaming Adrian and people like this. For me, yes, you can blame Adrian for the first goal, but then for the rest of them, you can't. You have to blame the defense. The high line doesn't work. Maybe against top teams, like a Man City or a Chelsea or an Arsenal or teams that will come against you. But when you've got that style of play like Villa were playing, you have to go back a couple of yards and try and settle things. But for me, Joe Gomez was terrible that game, and it's been a pattern with Joey Gomez over the last couple of weeks. Even, at the end of last season, defensive-wise, he wasn't very good and that. So that is a worry for me, personally. I know that we've been linked this week with Upamecano for next season for 40 million euros. Yeah, because he has the release clause, doesn't he? He has the release clause of 40 million euros, which, is that tempting? Yes, of course it is. It's absolutely tempting. Maybe... fourth choice centre back is Upamecano for Liverpool next year. Who knows in that aspect of things. But yeah, look, I'm not going to derail from the fact, first 3 games attackingly, we looked superb. At Villa, at times, we looked superb. Going forward with Mo, again, scoring the goals for us, it was just defensively. So Liverpool, I'm not really worried on that. I still think we'll win the league. I still think we'll win it comfortably. I can see Reece shaking his head. For me, we're going to win it comfortably. I'm gonna get in there right now. I don't think we're going to win it. I don't think we're going to win it comfortably. I will say that now. I think we're going to win it by like 10 points again this year. Interesting. Well, put it this way. The best game to bounce back is a Merseyside derby. However, I will say
4-1 Everton incoming.
Everton are playing fantastic football right now, and I am going to say this now, that I think this is their best chance to beat us because of the way we're playing right now. And I did notice the fact that Saturday is the 17th of October. That was the date 10 years ago that Everton beat Liverpool 2-0 at Goodison Park.
Can I just say though, like we was going without Mane, Thiago, and Shaqiri in that aspect, and like all three of them are going to be coming back.
Yeah.
You know, like they've already said that Mane and Thiago are most likely going to play against, them.
Chris, rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
He's been linked to Liverpool since what, 2012?
It's true. He's been fine.
I mean, we get the same rumours all the time with bloody Schneider rumours keep appearing out of nowhere, even though he's bloody retired.
I've got a question about Liverpool. All right, are you? When you talk about the attacking aspects being good, but do you think there's a possibility about dropping Firmino and playing Mane at striker and having a front three of Jota, Mane, and Salah? Because what does Firmino offer in the attack in a goal? If you're chasing the game, what does Firmino offer in a goal threatening sense?
He's a defensive striker.
Would you be better? Would you be better playing?
He sucks in defenders to allow Mo and Sadio space to go and attack. That is what he does. He attracts the defenders to allow them to burst forward. But it's more with Bobby. I know everyone goes, oh, he's a defensive striker, but he does so much link-up play between midfield to attack. Without him, there's a massive hole there, and people will always go, oh, he doesn't score goals, he's Liverpool's number 9 and things like this. Yes, that is a thing.
That's a good comment.
What's he said?
Firmino was useless as well. I don't know what's happened to him. He couldn't score in a brothel lately. Yeah, absolutely.
They'd reject him at the door and be like, sorry, we don't take misses, we only take hits.
Can Liverpool leave Upamecano alone for us at United?
Aye, if Liverpool sign Upamecano, I will be pissed off. Doug knows how much I want this guy at United.
They can't sign a pack of crisps, let alone freaking a player.
Here's another one. Here's another question for Liverpool. Do you think Liverpool panic and struggle when they go 1-0 down? It seems to be a common thing when Liverpool go 1-0 down. I've seen they seem to struggle a lot more. Yeah, they never do normally go 1-0
down. For me, no. We have this mentality in this squad that even at 3-1 down, I would still feel confident. I think the squad feels confident enough as well. All right, 4 or 5 or whatever, yeah. Then no, the game's gone. Right? I think if this side was 3-1 down at half time in a game, I think that we could get back into it, no matter the opponent, in my opinion, anyway.
Les Golden's just put up a good Speak, Douglas. Bobby scored a brace on international duty. He'll be up for the derby. Chris Welsh is saying, don't worry, we'll put Everton back under their rocks. Van Dijk will pocket the Everton Pookie that is covered. No.
Calvert-Lewin is a clear ahead of Pookie. There's no comparison.
Calvert-Lewin is probably one of the most improved strikers in the Premier League this season. I will just say that now. I think he's been fantastic for both club and country. Firmino provides the set-up play for Mane and Salah, but he needs to score more in my...
How many goals did he score at Anfield last year? 0?
1.
Against Chelsea.
Against Chelsea. It was against Chelsea. Yeah. Why didn't Bobby play against Villa? Says Chris. Well, put it this way. He was passing to you lot, so But I'm only joking.
The thing is though, when it comes to big games, you look like everyone goes on about Bobby Firmino not scoring at Anfield. Let's not forget Bobby Firmino got us 9 points last year from winning goals away from home. So he's won us games to get us to win a Premier League.
There's that point irrelevant because you wouldn't want to league anyway, so.
Right, we have to move on, and I've left us last. It's time for Reece's rant. Manchester United. What is
Glazers, Woodward.
He's trying to set me off.
Failures.
Right. Okay. So the question was realistic expectations for Man United this season. Oh, fucking hell.
15?
Right, okay. I swear I will die of shame if we finished outside the top 10. I will die. Honest to God, for the first time in my life, I'm saying 5th is an expectation because we have got nothing. We have got no depth. We've got issues that are recurring in the club, that are just difficult to match. We are a club that's bleeding profusely internally. There is no real fix to fix Man United, even if you get rid of the owners, because you've still got to invest so much money to fix the club. So that's an even bigger job, not just getting the owners out, which needs to be done.
Yeah.
But we're also run by incompetent clowns that don't even understand football. Honestly, I could put Woodward in a fucking Edinburgh Zoo, and he would get lost trying to find I would put him right in front of the panda section, and he would get lost finding the pandas. Like, that's how fucking ridiculous he is.
I just want to tell you, while you're on this, I want to tell you this in case you didn't know, the Glazers also own an NFL team called the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
They currently signed Tom Brady. He's the greatest NFL player. Tom Brady is on $450K a week at the Bucs. Think about that. And that money, half of that money came out of Manchester United's funds to pay for Tom Brady in the NFL.
It's like I said, Man United can only buy a pack of crisps. They can't buy any players.
We're so badly run and we're so badly done that there is nothing you can say that can fix this club. If you get rid of the owners, you get rid of Woodward, and you bring in a director of football, which is needed. You bring in competent football people that need to run the club. The problem with that is, a fan could tell you who the best in the world is at getting these people in. Ralph Rangnick, Michael Zorc, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, Matthias Sammer. There you go. I've just named 5. I've just named 5 or 6. But the club isn't run like that. It's run on the sense of where a bank will take things here or there, and this club will not progress unless we get rid of the issues. We could possibly go longer than Liverpool. The ticklish throat. We could go much longer than 30 years. We've done it before. We didn't win a league title from the late 60s up until 1993. Yeah. That says it all. And we didn't win the Champions League or European Cup from after 1968. We went 31 years without winning a European Cup. So that says how much of an issue, like how football clubs have their periods of dominance, they have their periods of recovering. But a club like Man United, a club like Liverpool shouldn't be having these sorts of issues. Arsenal, they're not a big club, so they can have their stupid, they're never going to win a league title again anyway. But this is Manchester fucking United. Like, they should be up there at the top, and they're not even going to get close. And it's because we are run badly. And I think 5th is probably where we're going to end up if we manage to survive this season. I hope we get into the top 4 because we need the Champions League. But that's even saying get the Champions League. The Glazers are like, yes, more Champions League money. There's no. It's getting to the point where even Woodward's coming out saying in the press, I'm willing to take the risk to sack Solskjaer. You've sacked 3 successful managers in the past 7 years. Who gives you the fucking right to sack another manager? Sack yourself, you cunt. Simple as.
Can I just say, like, on that point, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, there's now talk that like the Newcastle game could potentially be his last game as Manchester United manager. Woodward is prepared to sack him right after the Newcastle game if that Newcastle game is a defeat. So my question to you is, what do you think about Pochettino potentially coming in? Because in my opinion, I just think this is ludicrous. The guy hasn't won anything. Yes, you can say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has won stuff with like Molde, etc. But Pochettino, for me, hasn't recovered since that Champions League final.
Pochettino.
I'll say that now.
Pochettino's a divisive one. He is he's built clubs. That's great. He built Southampton after Nigel Adkins got sacked. Wow. I'm impressed. Ronald Koeman done better than you the year he came after. Just remember that, Pochettino. Just remember that. He went to Spurs and he bottled the league. He could have won it. He could have won the league, but he balled it to all teams, Leicester City, and he finished 3rd. Arsenal finished 2nd.
And Chelsea under Conte. We bottled them 2 then.
Yeah, it was, what was it, 2-0? 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, and you drew 2-2. And Lamela thought he'd be funny and tried to knock out Diego Costa, and we all know how that ended. But there's so many issues, and frankly, Pochettino, I'm not going to say he's a good manager, but he's not the manager Man United need. And he once went on record saying, trophies build egos. So? Like, you need that winning mentality, but what? Like, he's never won anything to suggest he can go further. And frankly, he needs to. Man City are after him, and Man United are now monitoring that situation, monitoring FC. That seems to be the Twitter thing right now. Why are they monitoring Pochettino? He doesn't play with width, and that's what Man United are all about. He plays a 4-4-2 diamond. That's not what Man United have ever been about. No, he should never be considered. Full stop. So my answer is Pochettino can suck it.
Yeah, quick question, because Villa together, Lions Roar makes a very good point. Has anyone seen anything to suggest Paul Pogba actually is world class? So it's really a couple of decent performances since his return doesn't suffice. Can I just ask you, what did you think of his comments that he came out about Real Madrid when he was on France duty?
Well, you know me because the comments were originally brought up on the United Family podcast, and it's been on other channels since. And I've been very honest with my comments. I'm like, yeah, if you want to play for Real Madrid and it's a dream to play for Real Madrid, that's fine. But we've just been smashed by Spurs in the league 6-1. It is our joint highest goal scoring defeat because we also got beat by Manchester City in the same scoreline 9 years ago. You can make those comments about, oh, I dream to play for this club or I dream to play for this person because he was my hero growing up. But there's a right place and there's a right time to make these comments. And that was not the right time. That was not the right place because it's going to make people jump on your back. And so many people say, oh, there's an agenda against Pogba. There is no agenda against Pogba. We want Pogba to do better. We want consistency, because we saw what he's capable at France. Like, he won the World Cup. He was in the Euro finals when they lost in extra time to Portugal. He's been there. He's done that, and he's won trophies at Juventus. We don't hate Pogba for being on the pitch. His social status, like within social media, is a problem because it's a big dictated personality. But he needs to seriously consider the comments that he makes at the appropriate times. And after losing like that, no. End of the season or start of the season, perhaps make those comments. Not when you're 3 games in and you get battered off a team where your former manager, who has said before you're a virus. Do not make those comments then. Wait till the end of the season when it's appropriate.
Yeah, Bluebird Legend asks, if Man United gets just 3 points in the next 3 games, does Ollie go?
Well, you're right to Newcastle, home to Chelsea, and away to Arsenal.
We've also got Leipzig and PSG in the Champions League as well.
Yikes!
Goodbye.
So I've always said you do not get rid of a manager during the season. It's disgusting. You should either do it before the start of the season and at least gives the manager a chance to embed his style of play, look at who he wants to bring in and then move on. Or you do it at the end of the season, you judge it on his performances throughout. You do not sack a manager midway through. That's a problem.
All he wanted Sancho, Grealish, a centre back, and a left back. He only got one of them.
He wanted Bellingham as well.
He's been thrown under the bus and he's going to lose his job because of it.
Comment of the evening, comment of the day. Even if United get Pochettino or Allegri, the problems are still the board. These players will throw Pochettino under the bus just like they will Solskjaer and they did with Mourinho and Van Gaal. I totally agree with that.
Spot on.
The one question go on, Doug.
Sorry, Reece, what would you do to fix United with the current owners?
First of all, I would tell Joe Glazer to stop acting like a twat. I would tell him to be more involved with the club itself. Second of all, I would get the owners exactly that. I would remove them. Getting them out isn't easy, but what I would do is, like, Ed Woodward is fantastic at commercial stuff. Like, that is something he is good at. That's the only positive I'm ever going to say about Ed Woodward is his commercial achievements. He is one of the best at that. But at running a football club, he is poison. Like, he is like the lethal injection. He has to be put back into the commercial side, and you bring in the competent side. I mean, you could look at Liverpool, you could look at Man City, you could look at Bayern Munich. You could tell who they're going to sign based on their sport directors or directors of football. You look at Man United and you're going to go, oh, you're going to sign a guy because of commercial value. We got Cavani on a free transfer to sell shirts. I mean, I like Cavani, but it's not the right move. And that's the problem, is United need to seriously move the commercial side away from the on-field situations and who's running the club for the football side, and bring in people who know how to run football clubs and get them in charge. That's why the comments made by Van Gaal after he was unfairly sacked after the FA Cup final in 2016 make perfect sense. Bayern Munich are run like a football club. Manchester United are run by a banker who does not know anything about football. He's also a rugby fan. That's an immediate no.
I want to make a comment on that last comment that appeared where it says Solskjaer will not drop Pogba. Solskjaer is incapable of making a big decision in case it comes back to haunt him, because he doesn't want all the media to look at him. You look at that when Jose Mourinho benched Paul Pogba against Liverpool at Anfield in his final game. Mourinho, oh my God, Pogba drop, Pogba on the bench. Solskjaer refuses to have that. You look at Solskjaer subbing Bruno off against Spurs and look at how much he hit. But apparently that was because Bruno was shouting at Solskjaer for his wrong tactics and for shouting at the players. So Solskjaer does not have the ego or the strength as a manager of Manchester United to make those big decisions, and not for himself. The guy, it's clear that Pogba and Bruno are not working well together. It's clear Pogba's not fit, yet he still plays. Why not change the formation and play a 4-3-3 with Van de Beek, Fernandes, and Fred Armada, instead of playing a 4-2-3-1 with an unfit Pogba and a formation that's clearly been figured out not working?
That's what I've always said. That's what I've always said, is we should be playing a 4-3-3 because that's what that's what Man United is built on. We were built on the 4-3-3 back to the Busby Babes era. We've always been a 4-3-3, even though Ferguson played a 4-4-2. He then changed it when Mourinho came in because he realised the 4-4-2 is no longer a tactical formation to withstand your football. You switch to the appropriate style to keep your team going. You evolve. Yeah. He played a 4-3-3 with his original midfield was Matic sitting. He played Pogba as the more advanced midfielder, and he played Herrera box to box. And then as soon as it got to the summer, he switched it, and I don't know why he done that. It was a massive mistake. But you made a very good comment about the decisions to drop, and Jose Mourinho did do that at Anfield, and also we went on to lose that game. I think it was 3-1. We lost that game at Anfield, and then Mourinho lost. Yeah. Then Mourinho lost his job. Yeah, I think Ole's problem is he. Yep, on you go. Sorry.
Declan makes a very good comment there. Pogba can be a great player, but he's so inconsistent. He's actually so talented, he's become a liability. Ollie won't drop him. Exactly what Josh said. My co-host of the Sam Radio Football Show is in, Carl Levy. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Abul says he agrees with you. My name's Ed Woodward. I get deals done, says Cian Dolan. I think that's a bit of an overstatement, to be honest. When Roy leaves Palace, I wouldn't mind Ollie at Palace. Ollie delivered last season, finishing third. Ed has let Ollie down in the transfer window. Absolutely agree.
The one thing that really annoys me about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, and it's not him as a person or him as a manager, it's the comments he gets. I am sick to the back teeth of the comments of he got Cardiff relegated. Cardiff were already getting relegated. Vincent Tan destroyed Cardiff. Yeah, they were never staying up. So these comments of Ole relegated Cardiff, go back to that league season. I'm pretty sure they were 15, 20 points behind the team that was one place above them in the league. You're not making that up between January and the end of the season. It's virtually impossible. Derby couldn't do it. So these comments are irrelevant. Yes, he didn't make it back up the following season of the Championship. But name one club that's went down to the Championship and then got back up straight away, because I think the only club I've ever seen do it is either West Ham or Newcastle. Yeah. It's impossible to do it straight away because Aston Villa took 4 or 5 years. Sunderland are now in League One.
The thing with Solskjaer is a basic manager, because he did, what he did against Brighton, when he had 5 in the back when you were struggling, something I would do on FIFA. He's a very basic tactical manager. He never changes the 4-2-3-1 unless it's a 5 at the back. His in-game management is non-existent. He doesn't do any interchanging. It's all the same plays. The guy, I think Solskjaer was put in a situation he did not expect to be in. He never expected to be the interim manager. He never expected to get the full-time job, and he was never expected to be in a situation he is now. But Solskjaer, you can only be as good as you can possibly can be, and I don't think Solskjaer can be that United. He won't get the time. And I think we can all safely say that as long as any manager is under the Glazers and Woodward, they will never be successful at United.
I agree. When interim came out,
Reece? Oh, never mind.
Of course.
Go on.
No. I'll say what I was going to say afterwards. On you go.
Well, no. Do you know when we've spoken about Jose Mourinho at the time and Louis van Gaal and things like this? When Jose Mourinho said I think it was on Sky Sports, said that his greatest ever achievement was to get that Manchester United team to second.
Yeah.
In that 17-18 season. Do you back then? Did you ever think you would go down this road? How far you've become? Because in my personal opinion, out the top 6, you are the worst team right now, and it might like in terms of team wise, and in terms of vision wise, for me, Manchester United are the worst. It could even be worse than the top 6. It could even be worse than Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who obviously I've been on Twitter for about a year and a half now, but I've been a Man United fan all my life, and I live near United fans, I live near Liverpool fans that actually don't slate me for being a United fan. We just have like constant discussions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they've went to me, we've went through periods of success, we've went through a period of dominance, but any club in the Premier League, like, they always go in terms of the Premier League status of elite clubs, the number one club, they always say, and this is coming from a Liverpool fan since about 1957. So this is one of my neighbours I've known for a long time. He says the premier club for the Premier League from 1992 to now, doesn't matter where they are, it's still Man United. Because when you think of the Premier League, you automatically assume Man United. That's that elite status. But the problem with football now is it doesn't matter about your name. Or even like your history can go against you now, because like we used to say we weren't a sacking club, but we weren't a sacking club because Sir Alex Ferguson dominated. But before that, we had 7 managers after Sir Matt Busby got sacked, like Wolf McGuinness, Tommy Docherty, Sexton. Then you had Atkinson, and then it was Sir Alex Ferguson. But the problem with football now is you can have a quick effect and you can have a quick change, but a change in manager doesn't always have an effect in it. You could have that managerial bounce, but then you could be sacked in 6 months. And you look at United now and you think, and I go back to Connor's question when he asked me about the second place greatest achievement, I would never thought we were going to be in this sort of position. I mean, I grew up when we were dominating, so I can't comment what happened in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, not the 60s, because we were still winning things. But we were winning cups in European competitions like here and there. And then we started dominating. So I can only comment from 2013 to now. And it has been shocking. Like, there's no way United should have went 7 years without winning a Premier League title. With the amount of money they bring in, the players they've had, there's no way. But the reason we are is because we're bleeding profusely internally. And the reason I say bleeding profusely is it goes back to the owners. It goes back to changing vision. David Moyes had the perfect setup. Fair enough, the squad was aging, but he had an aging squad that just won the league by 11 points. He had the coaching staff. He had the best coaching staff in the world. Like, Renard Mullenstein is one of the best coaches in world football, and he sacked him for Phil Neville. Like, there's downgrading, and then there is a huge downgrade.
See, I don't get that. I don't get why Mullenstein was fired and then replaced with Phil Neville. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And I think this is the thing with Manchester United now. Your club is run by idiots, and like I think it's safe to say that. But honestly, your club is an absolute mess right now, and the sooner that those owners get out of Manchester United will be the time the Manchester United fans will be able to, enjoy, and Ed Woodward as well, because ever since David Gill, he's not been a great chairman.
If United had a Michael Edwards, they would dominate English football again. But here's the question for Reece. Here's the $1 million question. Would you take relegation of Manchester United if the Glazers were to go?
Would I take relegation to get rid of the Glazers?
Yes.
Absolutely not. No. If I saw my club relegated, that would still hurt like hell, because this is a club that haven't been relegated since the early 70s. I see a lot of fans commenting this on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, we would gladly take our club to be relegated to get rid of our owners. But I'm like, you should never want your club relegated.
No,
I mean, I come from that is wrong. Like, no way you should. Like, if you want your owners out, you get rid of them the right way. You do not wish your club to be relegated.
I'm a as everyone knows, I'm a Livingston fan. They've been through the years of being, relegated, being, demoted to, Division 3.
Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're a Rangers fan. I'm a Livingston fan as well. And like both of our clubs have been through the mire as well. This is a very good question. Pete Shepherd, as non-City fans, what do the lads think of Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake? Do you think it will help City strengthen their defensive issues enough to stay in the top 4? Ruben Diaz,
No.
I think is a fantastic signing. I think the price tag is a wee bit much. Nathan Ake, he is a good centre back, but there must be a bit of an alarm bell ringing when you see that he was in a Bournemouth team who conceded 50 plus goals every single season.
I have a perfect way to answer that. They are good, they will help, but as long as they're playing under a Pep Guardiola defensive system, no.
I don't even think defense is Man City's problem this season.
The problem is their manager.
No, the manager, because he's a fraud. Let's not get this wrong. At the end of the day, they have no strikers. Aguero is injured. Gabriel Jesus is injured.
Yeah.
They have Rory Delap's son at striker. That's their main striker right now. They're playing Sterling up front.
They aren't the same team without Aguero. They look clueless without Aguero. They always have. They always have looked clueless without him.
I seen a comment in there by David, and the answer to his question is a flat out yes. And also, Chris Welch spot on. Sir Alex did need time, and he nearly got sacked in 1990 as well if it wasn't for Robin's goal in the FA Cup. But 100%, I would take Son at Man United in a heartbeat. I would.
Yeah, there's a couple of people saying about Diaz and Ake. Diaz might, Ake won't. Ake is bang average.
I don't know what they see in him. He isn't that, like, he can pass a ball, but he isn't really that good a defender. But he can pass a ball. Yeah. That's about it.
Diego C. Palace, I know what it feels like to get relegated on 42 points. It hurts for a long term. I have to say, Diego, yeah, I remember that season 04-05. You got relegated on 42 points, which I think is the highest amount of points that I think a team's been relegated on. So yeah, I know how you feel. We have to move on. International football has been a big topic of discussion, and I'll link these two in because we were going to talk about this anyway. So basically, the two questions are: should international fixtures be scrapped? And also, do we think football is in trouble? Right, I'll come to Connor first. What do you think about international football being on at a time with this demonetized thing?
I'm gonna sway. Why the fuck would you have international football in a global pandemic? Why? It's so stupid. I'm sorry, it is so stupid, and it doesn't mean anything. Like, there's nothing really being determined. Yes, you could do like the European qualifications, towards the end of towards the end of this current season. It's not, an emergency type thing, but is football in trouble? Yes, it is. Like, at the end of the day, countries are going back into lockdown. I think, the UK is practically in lockdown in certain areas now after, what the Tories said earlier on. But, look, football, it's going to get stopped again. The question is, it's when, not if.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing is, like, you're getting players now getting, tested positive, etc. Like Naby Keita, like Liverpool haven't confirmed that, but there is conflicting rumours that he's caught it. Thibaut Courtois didn't play in the England-Belgium game yesterday because he caught it, so Mignolet had to go in goal. But I'm not saying that's a reason why England lost.
If I'm not mistaken, the person who said they're Irish, I think the Republic of Ireland, 6 players had to leave the Republic of Ireland squad.
Scotland are down. Scotland are down 6.
Kieran Tierney's going to miss the City game now because of self-isolation. Northern Ireland, we didn't suffer anything luckily. Now, my problem with the internet, first of all, you talk about playing international football. Why are we doing international friendlies? Out of anything, why are we playing friendlies in a global pandemic? And who in their right mind in UEFA decided to do the international break before the season even began, when players could have when clubs could have more pre-season games, clubs could have got more familiar with the team. Like, what man is getting paid probably $5 million for this year to have an international break and a global pandemic before the season even began? I agree with Connor.
Infantino, I bet you it's the UEFA president. Infantino has decided, let's do this.
I agree with Connor that the Euro qualifications had to be done. There's no question they had to be done because the Euros is meant to be playing this summer. But it should not have been done this early. Like, the whole point of the protocols of football right now is do not travel. We're traveling around the world, So, is football in trouble? I think it'd be interesting to see what the government in the United Kingdom does when we go into a lockdown. Would they say, right, are we going to keep football going for morale, or are we going to basically say, no, we're going to shut down completely? I do think football will be shut down, but I think it'll be shut down for a week or two, and I feel like it'll just be like a winter break is what they'll basically call it. I feel like that's what. I don't think it'll be anything major, but it will be shut down. But they're going to cover it up as it's a winter break, or the players are going to need a week break, or something along that. So they're going to make it. It's going to be stopped, but they're not going to make it look major.
Yeah,
I've always been against international friendlies. I mean, I think the only international football you should see is the World Cup, the Euros, the Copa America, because it's still big for the Americas and the African Cup of Nations. They're the only international tournaments that should be played. Actually, the Gold Cup as well. You can't exclude the Gold Cup, but
of course. Yeah.
In that sense, they're the only international tournaments that should be played. And the same goes to the women. They should not have to play friendlies because, frankly, they're already going to be fit anyway throughout the season. You can just train with an international club for 2 weeks and then go back. Like, okay, here's your training for 2 weeks with your country. Back to your club. You don't need these friendlies. You don't need the Nations League at all.
I like UEFA, but again, the whole point of the Nations League is the most useless competition you'll ever see in your life. Like Northern Ireland, we've played 3 Nations League games. We drew 1-1 with Romania away with 10 men. We got tanked by Norway 6-1 at home, and then we lost to Australia 1-0 last night. We were terrible. We were dreadful. Yeah, we played against Bosnia and we're absolutely amazing. The Nations League is a glorified friendly. It is useless. And again, who in the right mind decided to play these games through the global pandemic is absolutely incredibly questionable. The International Football Board of UEFA is the dumbest thing in world football. They're clueless. Absolutely.
That board should honestly be forced to donate all their money to the NHS and charities across the world. They should not be getting their money for that because whoever decided to play football over health is a fucking idiot.
I had a look there. Over the last week or so, when there's been international break, 172 players have tested positive for COVID over the last international break.
And that says it all. Like, it's so risky.
362 players are self-isolating because of it.
You should be training with your club, or you should be isolating. You shouldn't be playing international football.
And the Gibraltar manager had to step down because he found from his international duties because it was too risky for him to continue with it.
Pete Shepherd's made an excellent comment, Doug.
Yeah. How can international friendlies take place when clubs like Napoli can't even get permission from the local authorities to travel for a league game? Yeah, that is amazing.
I don't know how Serie A decided to basically say, Juventus, you turn up to the ground, you warm up for the game, you post your lineup, and that expected Napoli to attend the game when they were pending the results based on a positive result. That was just thankfully Napoli did not get a forfeit on that game. But my question is, why would you go through all that effort, not have to do a court case, when you could have just said safety comes first, postpone the game? It's not difficult. It's just the football authorities are starting to do what the world is doing and getting complacent with COVID. That is what I feel like is a big problem.
I don't think they know how to manage in these situations, and that's the problem with football. Is there's no expertise for governing a situation. That's going to be everywhere. It's how do you manage it? And you look at countries like Germany and France who are letting fans back in because they're comfortable. They can manage the situation, and they are. I mean, I watched the Formula One yesterday in Germany, and there was I think there was about 10,000 fans in the Nürburgring watching because Germany are managing it so effectively, but elsewhere isn't, and it's either poor management or it's panic has got so much that once panic gets in, you cannot stop it, and I think that's becoming a big problem.
I'll add a question to: is football in trouble? Are teams below the Premier League in trouble without the fans being in the ground for financial support? Are Championship and below clubs looking at a real 100%. Problem?
And that's why they should have sponsorships in the big seasons. That's why I said at the start of the podcast tonight is like those lower league clubs like League 1, League 2 should be allowed to have sponsorships inside the Premier League stadiums so they can bring in some form of income, or they're humped, or the Premier League clubs should offer cash donations to keep them afloat.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think the bottom clubs down from the Championship, I think, are in trouble. We don't want to see another Bury. We don't want to see another Macclesfield. We don't want to see like another Gretna in Scotland.
Non-league is already in serious trouble.
Yeah,
they're already looking at a real not existent league anymore.
Here's a question for you, lads, which is quite an interesting one. I don't know if you know about it. I don't know how much you know about like lower league footballs, but obviously, what's your opinion on a club that's unbeaten, 5th in the league, by the way, unbeaten? Yeah, they sack their manager and they bring in one of their owners to run the club, and that is Salford City, by the way.
Oh, that was absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, I love Paul Scholes, but that does not make sense to me. I mean, I wish him well and all that, but how the hell can you sack an unbeaten manager?
Yeah,
like it makes no sense.
I don't get it. Connor, what?
But to go back on the non-league thing, aren't fans now allowed back into certain non-league stadiums now, and money going into it?
I only know about international football. That's all I know. Like certain international games.
I swear, it might not be National League, but I think it's like maybe a league down. Like they are allowing, under of course, guidelines and that. They're allowing people back in to generate more money to be put back in. If anyone knows, then let us know. But yeah, Paul Scholes' manager. Like, who was the club that he signed for? Was it last season? And then
Oldham
was like
Athletic.
it was like their manager for like 2 weeks and then quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he couldn't handle it or something. Yeah, honestly, I was going to bring that up, but thankfully you brought it up, Reece, because I saw that today and I was like, what? I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
Salford have won 2 of their first 5 games. Now, don't get me wrong. Like Graham Alexander's done a fantastic job to get them, into League 1, or is it League 2? Is it League 2?
I think it's League 2, yeah. League 1, League 2. I know they're doing well promotions-wise, but I'm not sure exactly what league they're in, but yeah.
Aye. But I was shocked at that. I was absolutely shocked at that. Chris Welsh brings up a good point, because he supports Carlisle United as well. And he says, my local town Carlisle are losing revenue badly. It's a big blow after having 1,000 fans versus Savend in the 2-0 win. Then after that, no fans again. Lower league clubs can't cope till the new year without fans for me. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Very good point.
I can't help but argue there. I mean, even 1,000 fans can still bring in what Chris could tell me how much he charged for a ticket, but I'm just going to say roughly it's £5, £6 a ticket maybe. That's just a rough out of my head like that. But that's like £1,600 that can go towards the club week after week, and that says it all really about what is going on with this global crisis. Is like these clubs need money to sustain. I don't know why the FA are not offering some form of value, because there is money there. Like they should be helping. So should the government. There should be something there to keep these clubs afloat.
Well, it's like you mentioned the Premier League teams in terms of Bury and all like that. Why didn't the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City step in and try and help Bury? It's like the same with Liverpool and Everton. They should help Tranmere Rovers. Similar like that. Like if there is a big Premier League team and there's a small, like League 1,
club in your
League 2
association,
like then you should help them no matter what. Because this is terrible times, and I think
I thought they were going to step in. I wasn't sure what happened. I thought they were going to step in. I was a little bit surprised, but I don't know why they didn't step in. Oh, bang on guess, but I don't know. I don't know why they stepped in. I feel they should have in any shape or form, and the fact that they haven't is a shame. I know in terms of up here in Scotland, if you ask Rangers to step in and help a club, they're going to tell every club in the SPFL. They're going to tell them no after what they did to them 8 years ago. And rightfully so. I would tell them all to get stuffed.
Pete Shepherd says, I'm in the States, but it's clear football is in trouble when you're trying to charge you lads £15 per game on top of the money you pay for the Sky Sports package. Yeah,
Pay
absolutely.
per frickin' view.
Yeah, exactly.
So stupid.
Bluebird Legend says that was Batty by Salford. Batty? Not heard that word for a while.
A long time.
We better move on. Very, very quickly. Transfer window recap. Who's won the transfer window? Well, who's won the transfer window?
Signing of the summer is Thomas Partey, but in terms of who's won the transfer window, none of them.
For me, it's Thiago. 5 million a year for one of the best midfielders in world football. Everton, I think have actually won.
Everton.
Yeah. Can we all say who the worst club is of the transfer window, and that is 100% Arsenal?
Man United.
No, we're not getting into that. The worst club during the whole transfer window. Man United were the worst at signing players and taking action, but in terms of pure disgraceful behaviour, it's 100% Arsenal for getting rid of a club mascot after 27 years of service.
Yes.
That is disgraceful. For me, Arsenal should be... I would give them a points deduction of, say, minus points, putting them down to minus 16, make them work their way back up. Like, they're furloughing staff.
Yeah.
They're getting and all that, but Man United never furloughed staff. They kept their staff on full pay.
Yeah.
Yet, how can Arsenal, who are a very rich club, how can they put their staff on furlough, keep Mesut Ozil on 350 grand a week, give Thomas Partey 200k a week and all that, give William 250k a week? Yet they get rid of then you get rid of a minimum wage servant after 27 years. That is disgraceful.
Haven't they reached an agreement with Ozil to terminate his contract?
No, Ozil's wanting to give wages to the Gunnar apparently. I mean, if he is good on him.
I know that, but apparently Ozil's agreed with Arsenal. Apparently, it's meant to be done in the next couple of days.
Really? Good riddance.
Wow.
I always want him to stay I hope he stays so he can bleed them dry.
Abu Azad says James Rodriguez.
Good player, very good player. Underrated.
Yeah, definitely. Ozil is paying for the mascot for sure. Oh yeah, one other thing, guys. This is the time to get your questions in the chat. Basically, we'll have a question time. We basically answer your questions. So get your questions in. One question I want to ask you guys: Leeds United started the season really, really well. How far could they go? Josh,
8th.
Where do you think?
I think Leeds United are a good defence away from probably being a team that could fight for that 7th place. Yeah, I think we could all say that Bielsa is an incredible man. Like, how he has that Leeds United... is Josh in his tea? Yes, I am, yes. Listen, it's a tough job. But when you're a baker who works 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. 6 days a week, you need your food at night to be ready for the morning. So I do apologise for that. But one thing I would say though is Bielsa does not speak any English, so he's telling his players what to do for a translator. Yet they play the way they do. That shows how good a man can be if he doesn't even have to speak the right language to show what he wants to get across. I think defensively they are definitely probably missing an experienced Premier League centre back. If they had that Leeds team would be in the top 10 comfortably. And I think Bielsa will. I just put it in that second half. Bielsa schooled Pep Guardiola. He schooled him. He showed him a lesson, and that was with a squad that is millions less worth. I think Leeds United are definitely not going to get relegated. Let's be fair, they're not going to get relegated.
Kean Dolan, you're getting a comment from me. This is a personal one. That is comment of the night. I applaud you, sir. And because you love Motorhead, I applaud you, sir.
Dominic Rich is in. Someone who's given me a lot of advice over the past few months about YouTube, etc. Welcome to the podcast. Hope you're doing very well, my friend. Best signing of the summer is James Rodriguez. Then I must say, Emi Martinez to Villa.
Really? Martinez, would you say that?
It's up there.
Goalkeeper, maybe?
I think it's up there. but it's,
I think he's a good
wouldn't say it's
signing,
the
but
best.
I would say maybe in the top 5, but I would say there's signings ahead of him that are far more
Mandated
better.
Chelsea.
But I will say that is good.
And then he says Leeds will be the Sheffield of last season, just better.
Right. Leeds, I think Leeds
I
have the
agree.
attacking threat. They've got the manager. They just need a better experienced defence. They won't get top 7, but I feel like they'll get. I think Leeds will get 9th. 9th will be my call.
9th. Connor?
I'm going to go 7th for Leeds. Yeah, I think they're going to get Europa League. I think they're going to do one better than Sheffield. It's the thing is, like, watching that Man City and Leeds game, that was probably one of the most thrilling 1-1 draws I think you'll ever see in Premier League history.
Yeah.
You know, and if they can do that against, you know, Manchester City, you know, then you know they tore us to shreds at Anfield. You know, first day.
Very little teams go to Anfield and score 3 goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
Yeah.
I laugh he comes back from.
I love that. That was pure precision. I mean, they went and scored 3 goals at Anfield.
Yeah,
and it
just remind me.
disappears.
Yeah, just remind me. Like, 3 goals. Just remind me. But yeah, they look. Leeds look. They look fantastic. You know, and they and they're still yet to realistically play in Rodrigo yet. You know, at striker, they're still playing Bamford, and to be fair, he's doing a good job. So, you know, when that squad needed most, then yeah, I think around 7th or 8th for me.
I'm gonna sort of rain on the parade a little bit. I think they'll be 9th. I'm gonna say they're 9th. I did put them 11th at the start of the season. I've been very impressed with them. Don't get me wrong. I just think later on in the season, when they are like the Christmas period, might be a big sort of turning point. Carl, don't shoot me, because I noticed you were in the chat earlier. You're a big Leeds United fan, right? Time for question time, and the first question.
You forgot me.
Oh yeah, sorry, Reece.
Wow.
Where do you think
You left the fan out that actually has a personal issue with Leeds. Obviously not as big as Man City fans, but actually who is a Man City fan, to be honest, anyway. But I actually think Leeds are going to finish 8th, like staple 8th position, 62 points.
Yeah.
So that says it all.
Okay, so question time. Right, first question. Next Premier League manager to be sacked.
Sean Dyche.
What? Sean Dyche?
Yep.
Sean Dyche?
Yep. Get it
Frank
up,
Lampard.
Oh,
Lampard.
Lampard's getting sacked. Lampard's getting sacked at the end of November. Sean Dyche is getting sacked in the next 3-4 weeks.
Or should we say only Gunnar Solskjaer, because that's realistically a thing that's going to happen.
That's just going to kill me inside, but unfortunately it could possibly happen. But I honestly think it's going to be a club in the below section of the bottom 10. I honestly think it's going to be Sean Dyche, because he's been there for so long. The club is still playing the same style of football. It hasn't evolved. It hasn't taken any further, and you can see that cracks are going to start papering in. It was the same with Bournemouth. The difference is Eddie Howe, he unfortunately the club got relegated. He didn't get sacked. He left by mutual consent. I think Sean Dyche is going to get to the point where how is he going to take that club forward? They're still playing very defensive football. Yeah, it's going to work here and there, but they don't actually do anything in terms of dominate games. They just board the shit out of you.
He doesn't get.
And I genuinely think he's going. He doesn't get back. No, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. But I do feel he's going to get sacked. I saw Chris Welch. He said Scott Parker's on the fence. I think he's not going to get sacked at all. I don't think Parker's going to get sacked. Nah, I don't.
Okay.
And not for a while anyway. I think it's going to be like a Watford. I think they're going to sack their manager right at the end of the season, bring another one, and then sack him a game later. I think they're probably going to do the same thing to Scott Parker. I think he'll be right at the end of the season.
I'm going to give you a name that probably people are going to be a bit shocked by. Roy Hodgson.
I thought you were going to say Arteta.
Wow.
That's possible. It's possible.
Chris Wilder. Sheffield United are in trouble.
They are, but I mean they've got Fulham next, so I would expect them to win against Fulham. But yeah, I don't know, just something seems to be happening at Palace right now. I know they've started very well, but just recently results have been going against them, I think. And getting beat 4-0 by Chelsea as well. Like, as Diego is in the chat, I think he said to me, actually, that Hodgson doesn't have a plan B. Now, if Hodgson doesn't have a plan B, that's a big, big worry for Crystal Palace, I would say. So
every time I've watched Palace play, it's literally pass the ball to Zaha and get and get into the box, and you'll get a goal. Like, that's it. That is Crystal Palace. If you don't have a plan B, you're not going to get much further. And if they lose Zaha, who have they got? Because Ayew is crap, to say it nicely.
To be fair, they got that Palace. They got that one that they bought from QPR, haven't they? Can't remember his name. Yeah, like, he looks okay, but he's not at the same level as Zaha.
But
Someone's mentioned Slaven Bilic.
Here's a good way to sum up Palace. If you go 1-0 down to them, you're fucked. If you go 1 up against them, they're fucked.
That's very true. That is very, very true. Let's see what some of you are saying.
Slaven Bilic has been mentioned.
He doesn't have.
Dominic says Slaven Bilic.
In all fairness to him, he literally came out after the Chelsea game and was literally publicly shaming how annoyed he was at the players that he got in during the transfer window. He does not have his squad. Full stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Scott Parker for me. Fulham will be like 2013, 2014.
I seen Diego's comment. As much as it hurts me to say, I sort of can't help but say I hope it doesn't happen. Diego's big paragraph.
I'll come to it. Pete Shepherd is asking, my question is simple. The banter has been good, but is Connor capable of taking off his Liverpool-coloured glasses when he talks about Liverpool response to said question?
Look,
yeah, Shindig!
Wait, who does he support? Man United?
Man City.
I don't...
I feel
City? Really?
I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. You know, you've got to put up with the pain of Pep Guardiola and just the fraudness of that. So,
what colour does a Smurf go with Strangle?
What colour does a Smurf go with?
If you ever watch the Smurfs, I think they go from light blue. I think they go to either dark blue, purple, or they go white. They somehow revert. They're a strange bunch.
I think they go really dark blue, don't they?
Oh, he's sorry. Sorry, Reece. Then Bielsa into Manchester United as their manager. Possible.
If Bielsa goes in, Man United are going to play a 4-1-4-1, but they're not going to. They're going to be one of the fittest teams in the league. That's guaranteed. But Bielsa's not going to get the same backing that any other manager's got. So he's going to work the players over. He's not going to take any. He's not going to take any shit. So that I fully respect, in the sense of he will motivate these players. If you don't listen, you're gone.
Yeah.
But Bielsa, I don't think it would be a manager we would take. I don't think we would.
Would you take? Oh wait, would you take Wolves manager like Nuno?
Oh, Nuno Espirito. Yeah, I would personally. I like the way he plays football. I think if you look at managers across world football, I've got my own little personal shortlist of 5 managers. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for me stays at least till the end. Like, he's my manager until he's gone. And frankly, I've always said, give it to the end of the season and see what he does. If anything doesn't improve, then you need to look at it. But I think the coaching staff's the problem, and so is the medical department. But so is the owners, so is the Glazers. But if you had to look at who would I take, managers for me, it would be Nagelsmann, number 1 for me. You've got Nuno, Erik ten Hag from Ajax. People might think I'm a bit controversial here because I didn't like Jose Mourinho, but I would say Diego Simeone. And the other one I would say, which is a bit of a left field option, is Marco Rose from Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Oh, yeah.
Those two managers.
It's a good touch. Good show.
Nagelsmann and Mönchengladbach are Nagelsmann and Marco Rose are the 2 managers personally I believe United should get, but only if you bring in Ralf Rangnick as director of football, who has worked with both of these managers whilst he overran the whole Red Bull network. That's what we should. That's what you need to do. That's what you should do. Get Rangnick as director of football. And let them do the rest. And I come back to Bill's question was January signings. The easiest one is Dayot Upamecano at centre back. There is no other signing Man United should make in January except Upamecano and maybe a defensive midfielder like Zakaria or Conrad Leimer.
Yeah, a couple other points.
Brewster.
I'm worried about not having a plan B. That's why I want Brewster at Palace.
Is that to go out to restaurants every week? Because that's the only Brewsters I'm going to.
Oh my god! Seriously.
Oh my god! Wow.
Seriously.
There you go, lads. A little joke for you.
Oh, dear, that was funny. Ian Collins says, Man U are a top 6 side this season with a tired dead squad with no big signings for the season in the future. Ole out. Top 4 for us Gunners, I think.
Top 4 for Arsenal. Sorry, mate, you're not getting past 7th. I just don't. I don't know if their team's going to be ready yet to challenge. I mean, Partey, Gabriel, and Saliba are going to improve your defence in the midfield, but if you lose Aubameyang to injury, you've got nothing.
There's actually talk that Saliba might be going out on loan
again
to the Championship.
I thought he was the next Van Dijk.
Who is? Well, that's an interesting conversation.
That's a very interesting conversation.
The next Van Dijk is Van Dijk's dog. They both get dragged around.
You don't get to third in the Premiership by luck. Yeah, that's right. I would love Simeone in the Premier League. His entertainment at his finest.
Watching him on the sideline would be amazing. Simeone on the sideline in the Premier League would be absolutely amazing.
The only reason I would take Simeone is, fair enough, he plays defence. Fair enough, he plays defensive football. Fair enough, he plays defensive football. That's a brilliant comment. The only reason I would take Simeone is, fair enough, he is like a slightly defensive manager, and like I know people are going to say, "Oh, defensive," but that's not what Man United are about. But one thing Simeone knows what to do, and I take Nagelsmann as well, as they know how to organise a defence. The other managers I've mentioned, can they organise a defence? Probably not. They like to go on the front foot, and Nagelsmann's a tactically astute manager, but he plays exciting football. But you've got to back your manager first, and you've got to get the internal issues sorted first. And the owners, the owners, Woodward, they've got to be kicked to the curb. The medical staff, I don't know how the hell we're so bad. And the coaching staff need to be considered a replacement as well.
Yeah. Kane Dolan, happy birthday for tomorrow, mate. Hope you have a good one. I've just got a happy birthday message off my Uncle Terry. I'm worried. My birthday isn't until tomorrow, and I don't have an Uncle Terry. Yeah, that's a bit random. Chris Wells says, I feel this could be Burnley's season to go down. It was Bournemouth last season. Look what happened. Howe leaves. I feel the same happening with Burnley and Dyche. Really interesting. Wow. Arsenal started the season well last season. Look what happened. They finished 8th. Yeah, they started the season very well and then capitulated. That's a good one, Reece. Brewster, I think he liked your joke. I feel sorry for my hometown Burnley, says Abdul. Yeah. Oh, I was about to call it Abdul. Sorry, Abdul. Sorry, my bad.
I find it crazy. I've just looked through the chat. How does Ian know I'm like a classic nerd when he mentioned how's the Yu-Gi-Oh decks going? Like, how the hell does he know I'm into all sorts of stuff? Like, how the
where's the camera?
Or is he looking into my boxes because I've done a lot of storage this week? But like, I'm a classic geek. What can I say? But they're going great. What can I say? I'm an old vintage gamer. There you go.
Simeone's source of defence out is just attacking wise. Probably why he signed Suarez this season. Yeah.
Simeone needs a proper good number 9 because it's all about individual brilliance in the final third with his team. He's the type of guy like on defence, like he's up there dancing on the floor, and then when the team's attacking, he'll go sit down and go on his phone because he simply doesn't care.
Now I remember. Never mind. I was trying to remember. Sorry, I remember now. Fantastic.
Small world.
Arsenal are placing 4th. I'm sorry, but you're not yet.
Imagine if Liverpool were to win the league and Arsenal come like 3rd or 4th and United finish 7th. Like, how tormented is that going to be for Reece?
That would kill me inside.
Just like you get like the sad music and just the rain pouring down.
Chelsea won in the league.
Chelsea are finishing 9th, mate.
Chelsea ain't getting anywhere near it at the minute.
Current top 4.
Current top 4.
Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and Spurs.
Liverpool, City, Chelsea.
Oh.
He can't. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Everton.
Connor.
Everton. Wow.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, I'm stuck between two teams.
Go for your craziest option.
Tottenham.
Oh, nice.
Tottenham.
I'm going to go... I want to put Man United in there because you just can't leave your club out, but I don't know. So I'm going to say, just because I like the whole chaos situation, I'm going to say Everton to win the league. I'm going to say Liverpool to finish 4th, Man City to finish 2nd, Man United to finish 3rd, and Chelsea to get relegated, if only. Chelsea to finish 10th. Hello. No, honestly, I think the actual top four this season is going to be Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Tottenham, and then you've got Man United 5th, Arsenal 6th, Leeds 7th, and then Everton are going to be in like 8th or 9th. I'd like Everton to win the league because
Leeds above United, Leeds above Everton.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anything football's positive, mate. Anything's possible.
Yeah. I suppose you could say that the fact is that, you know, Everton have one manager of the month and the one player of the month, and then that's kind of like a jinx sometimes on them. So we'll see what some of you are saying. Top 4: Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, and Wolves. That's very interesting. Diego C. Palace, Liverpool, Everton, Leeds United, and Tottenham. Very, very intriguing. Ian Calland, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Leeds, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham.
He said us there. He said Liverpool, City, us, Leeds. So is that Arsenal?
Us is Arsenal. Yeah.
He is an Arsenal fan. Crazy minds. Crazy, eh? Two-horse race. Everton versus Liverpool.
Everton versus Liverpool.
Can I just say, whoever mentioned the comment about me having the Liverpool glasses, everyone here has mentioned Liverpool winning the league. So of course I'm going to have the glasses on.
Except me. I haven't.
Except Reece, of course, because Reece could never say Liverpool are going to win the league.
Oh yeah, I would physically die if I ever said Everton are going to, if Liverpool would win the league. As much as I hate to think it, like you can't not have these thoughts of who's going to have the league, who's not going to win it. They're going to be up there fighting for it. I don't think they're going to win it. But what I will say is, if Liverpool do retain the league this year, like the whole comments, oh yeah, they're the greatest team in Premier League history, will come out again by Sky Sports because they love sucking up every manager's arse. But the issue with like Liverpool retaining the league is it's easier to win the league than it is retaining the league. If Liverpool, I don't know if they've got the mentality to retain it. If they have that mentality to retain the league, great. But I hope they fail and finish outside top 4.
Yeah.
Right, Pete. Here is what I say to you.
It's your turn now.
Here we go.
Okay, I need to eat. All right, because I work early hours. All right, I need my food. All right, and I don't want to sit here eating away on camera. And number 2, we're going to win the league, so I've got nothing to hide about. Just that.
Chelsea are going to win one league, right? I'm going to tell you. Chelsea are going to win one league, right? They're going to win the financial league. We made the most money. That's it. You're not going to win the league for at least another 5 or 6 years.
To be fair, though, we all said about transfer window and all like this about good players. All of us were saying this, back in July. Timo Werner was probably one of the best businesses they could have ever done.
I was gutted that Chelsea signed him. He's one of my favourite players, but he's been shocking.
I know.
Yes.
Like Chelsea going to need to gel these players. They're going to need to gel them, and it could take longer than you think. That's why I say Lampard sacked at the end of November.
Reece, all I will say is, when it comes to February of 2021, I hope you enjoy your Thursday night football again.
Bill says Liverpool, Everton, Liverpool, Man United, and City. Very interesting. The shade from Pete, says Kean Dolan. Reece on top form today, says Chris.
Recognised.
When Liverpool retain their league title, Roy Keane will still say they were sloppy. Gentlemen,
he loves a dig at them. He loves a dig at Klopp. It's so funny. I mean, like, the one thing I find funny about Roy Keane is like he'll find any comment to slate Klopp, and when he actually slates him, he's speaking the truth.
And then look at the when it Klopp's there.
I mean, look at the comments he makes about the bloody weather. Oh, the wind affected our play. The ball travelled fast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you stop commenting about the weather, mate. Like, just shut up. Yeah. You're in British football. You need to handle it. Just get on with it. Stop crying like a little bitch.
Gentlemen, gentlemen, and everyone in the chat, thank you very, very much for watching the first World of Football podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. We were going 1 hour 44 minutes, which is absolutely fantastic as well. But yeah, thank you for everyone who's stuck
Kian
by
just
us.
crushed me in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Reece is on top form today, unlike his club. Crushed.
But yeah, thank you very much, Josh, my co-host, of course. Where can we find you on your socials?
JWSH_EU.
Excellent. Connor, where can we find you on your socials?
The Cop Council on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
Excellent. Reece?
Just same as my highlight there. I'm only on Twitter, United for Life 14. If you want, drop a follow. I always follow back, and any football comments, I'll get amongst you. And as I say, real recognises real. Liverpool aren't going to win the league. Done. There you go. I said aren't. Just remember that.
but no, absolute pleasure. Everyone's links are in the description below. Just go and follow them. Give Connor a subscribe to the Cop Council as well. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we had 18 people or 19 people watching at one point, which was absolutely magnificent as well. But yeah, guys, please leave a like when you leave this video as well. Share the stream if you want to as well, because this will obviously be going up again. Still needs to process, etc. But it's been an absolute pleasure. We will try and do these every Monday. I think Monday's a good time for a podcast, and it obviously depends on everybody's availability. Connor, Reece, thank you very much for joining me and Josh tonight. We will have you back on very, very soon in the near future. I will try and get more people on as well. I will be speaking to a couple of people that I really want to get on as well. And yeah, Josh, if you can do the same as well. But thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It's been an absolute pleasure. And enjoy your weekend. And I'm sure everyone will. See you later. Bye bye. Thank you again. Cheers.